one great pitcher like that can help a franchise tremendously. And I just look at him and I say, how can this guy not get signed?
Well, he's breaking the economics of the game. He's almost too good for the game at the current economics because basically he is a $20 million man, but the game says, hey, I can't afford a $20 million man. Not at this point in the economy. It's insanity. Let's wait and try to get him after the next bargaining session, maybe 2011, to really write a big long-term contract or get somebody in with that kind of money.
Okay, so now let me go through the scenario. So here's the scenario. He doesn't get taken, I think it's tomorrow. I think tomorrow is the deadline. He doesn't get taken by then. He's back into the draft. The Nationals get another pick for him, and next year he could be drafted all over again. So now, Lisa, I'm imagining 4 or 5 of the bottom dwellers passing on this guy in the same way because they can't afford it. Now maybe a team like the Mets or somebody who's having an underperforming year but a big checkbook all of a sudden can sign this guy because no one else will sign him. It'll be like when Mark McGwire walked up to the Mets and said, listen, don't sign me because I don't want to play for you. And he's not saying it. This kid's not saying that. But basically, there's going to be something that's unset here, and teams are going to know that if they don't have the money, they're not even going to talk to Scott Boras. So, he may go like 6th or 7th overall now because of the money.
I mean, it's just another example of what we were discussing earlier, that there needs to be major change in Major League Baseball because it's unfair that this guy's going to go to, someone like you had said, someone like the Mets who are not a good team but have the money. I mean, there should be another franchise that, has the ambition to want to upstart and keep their fans happy and, be successful.
I mean, Nico, you know better than anybody else what a young kid, flamethrower guy can do to an organization. You've probably been there. You've probably seen a guy like that sort of light up a franchise.
Yeah, but I don't know, the economics of the game are broken, and people, that's a big commitment to throw that kind of money out there in today's economy where you don't know what's going to be in the next 2 years. Why not stall and wait until 2011, until the new contract is signed, and then you can start gobbling up players and really forecasting over the next 10, 20 years of who your players are going to be.
Well, some teams can do that, but by then, Strasburg is going to be signed with somebody else. The only other option they have is sign them and trade them in a year, because you have to wait a year. So that's another problem is even if they sign them, they've got to wait like a year from when they signed them to trade them.
Yeah, well, to sign them, you're going to need to guarantee something like $20 million or something like that. And who's going to guarantee that right now? This, economic situation there.
No, the sign and trade's just not going to happen. But again, I feel for the Nationals because it's not like they haven't offered him money. The Nationals have offered him good money. This is just something where, I don't know.
Well, look who his agent is.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help when your agent, Scott Boras, no question, Lisa. It really, it definitely, I can't put it even all on his shoulders because, hey, look, he's getting the most money he can for his players. That's the way the system is. But right now, it's being pushed to the limit, and we'll see where that leaves us. Nico, what else you got?
Well, let's take a look here at the game. There's a couple other players here when you're talking about the New York Yankees just playing dominant over the weekend, sweeping the Red Sox. You look at a guy named Milky Cabrera, who also hit for the cycle over the White Sox the last couple of weeks. And he's a tremendous player that just adds a dynamic magnitude to the Yankees this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, the talk around New York is whether or not he could be an everyday player because we still haven't seen that out of Melky. They think maybe he's better in a platoon role or off the bench, but not as an everyday starter. But I think he's kind of quieting those critics this year with his performance. He's been the most clutch player, hands down, the Yankees have had. Yeah,
he's been very good. Although, I don't know if he's a guy that's going to be there long term, Lisa, because I think at some point they're going to look at him and say, yeah, great fielder, and we know his production's up this year, but if he doesn't keep that production every year in the position he's in, I can't see him being a Yankee long term.
Oh, no, I agree, but, I mean, for the present moment, he's a Yankee and he's here to stay. And speaking of clutch, I just have to say, A-Rod. I mean, and I talk a lot of smack about him on my blog because it's easy to, but he actually came through in the clutch against the Red Sox.
He did.
Have you ever seen a game like that, just those dramatics and the way that all went down Friday night? It was amazing.
It was amazing. I was asleep
How could you be asleep during that?
I fell asleep. I'm old.
That's a bad job.
No, it's a bad
The
job.
last time I saw something like that, it was Aaron Boone hitting the home run and rounding the bases, and the Yankees were dominating.
No. I didn't have a brand new puppy then that makes me wake up at 5 a.m. and basically it's like having a kid around the house. So I wasn't asleep for that one. I saw that. I didn't see that one, but I did see it on the highlight, and you're right. For all that we say about A-Rod, that was a pretty clutch hit, and he does deserve his credit there. The last guy I would like to talk about on your list, Nico, and then maybe we'll hang it up for this week, Andrew McCutchen. Now, this is a guy who really has come up under the worst circumstances because the team is just totally bailed out. They've gotten rid of any good player they had as far as with major league experience. And I saw his first game. I actually should post some pictures because I did take some pictures of him at PNC Park, and I liked what I saw. He was very positive, good speed, good hitter, good fielder. Maybe at least this guy could give Pirates fans something to hold on to until they trade him.
Oh, that's so sad to say that.
Well, how am I supposed to say? They got at least 3 years out of him, and then, like I said, the new bargaining agreement may be able to. They could definitely sign up for a lot less than they would have to in the current marketplace. So.
I know it seems mean, Lisa, but I'll tell you the fans there are pretty fed up. I had long conversations with many season ticket holders there, and they're just not happy. There's this thought that they're rebuilding through the farm system, and they've been talking about it for a couple of years now. But there's a fine line between rebuilding through the farm system and trading guys who are still young players.
Oh, of course. I don't blame Pirates fans. I mean, and they're in a historic franchise. They have a lot of history, and it's that, the shambles that they're in right now for the past decade, over a decade.
Yeah, it is a shame. Everybody check out theyankeeprincess.net.
Russ, I want to add one more thing.
Go ahead, add it.
Didn't talk about. I had this on my blog as well about Josh Hamilton falling off.
Oh, yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I think he did the right thing, by calling his wife, baseball, the team, he got it all straightened out, but it just goes to show you addiction is a day-by-day issue that you have to deal with.
It's a brutal thing, but I have to ask you this, Lisa. Now, back in your single days, because you're right now, you're engaged.
Yes.
Would you have ever taken part in anything like that where people were taking pictures?
No.
I just don't understand the mindset. Like, alcohol adds a lot to it, don't get me wrong. But even with the alcohol, I didn't understand why those women were doing what they were doing, knowing that they were being pictures taken.
Well, I mean, some women, they don't really care. But, I mean, obviously he blacked out. He said he remembers nothing about that night. But you see all the time with celebrities. They're always, they're always in pictures and, weird situations, and then it gets out, and then it's this whole big public relations disaster. I mean, I don't know why people do what they do. Maybe they were looking for attention. I mean, they were all hanging out with a baseball player. They probably thought who they were, and they thought it was all cool and everything. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his family especially, and I feel bad for the Rangers as well. But hopefully he has it under control, and he realizes now he can never just have a drink.
Yeah, well, we'll hope that that's the case, and I agree with you. Nico, before we head out, I want to really thank Verizon for this crappy signal that I'm getting today. I complained about this phone line, and they've done nothing about it. So thanks, Verizon.
We'll give them a $500 ad space.
Yeah. So, Nico, go ahead. Add what you're going to add before I slam this phone down and break it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Josh, he's a great ball player, and it was sorry to see him go down. And I think his talent, if he just sticks with his talent, he's got so much talent. He's just a phenomenal player, and he doesn't need a drink thing or do anything, any kind of drug. He's just an awesome ball player.
All right, guys, we're going to come back probably second week of September because I got to go on vacation. I know I'm not allowed. Everybody listen to the game. Everybody play the game, and we'll catch everybody next time.